Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel Books with Natasha. Today I will be filming my July wrap up. So I wasn't going to film one because by the 20th of July I still hadn't read many books and most of them were rereads, and basically this wasn't the best reading month for me, so I was going to combine August and July together, but the last week or so I read like 3 books and we got to 19 books for this month, so I thought why not just film one and see if you guys will enjoy it. I know I had a lot of fun this month. I read a lot of manga again. I discovered new favorite series, and it was overall a really good month, but my mood has been all over the place lately, so that's the reason why I haven't picked up any new books. Nothing appeals to me, but also every book out there appeals to me. It's like a sort of strange mood. I'm hoping I will get out of it eventually, but please bear with me if it doesn't work very fast. So like I said before, in the month of July I read 19 books, and let's just get straight into the list. Before we start this video, I wanted to quickly mention that in case you have noticed, I'm wearing these elastic bands on my braces, and like I said in previous videos, I can take them out. I'm supposed to wear them 24 hours a day, so I'm hoping they don't bother you, but if they are, I'm so sorry, but I can't help it. The first book that I read in the month of July was a reread, and that is the Lux series by the Amateur. I reread and all the books in this series except the first one. I just wasn't in the mood for it because I really wanted to read about Demon and Katie being together and everything. So I read Onyx, Opal, Origin, and Opposition. And many of you know that this is a JLA fan account, so I talk about JLA books a lot. And the Lux series is one of my all-time favorite series, and I just love reading it when I'm feeling down or when I need a pick-me-up because it's such a fun, lovely series, and I just love Demon and Katie so much. The relationship is amazing. Also, all the other characters in these books are hilarious, and I just love reading about them. And yeah, these books all get 5 out of 5 stars. In case you haven't noticed, I just love the series so much, and I'm hoping you guys can give it a chance because it's totally worth it. Next, I read Book Lovers by Emily Henry. This was my first book by her, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it, but I wasn't so obsessed like everyone else are in the book community. It was an okay book. It was fun reading it, and it's been a while since I read a new story, and I really enjoyed it. We have these 2 characters who work in the book industry. One is an agent and the other is book editor, and they basically hate each other. But after the girl goes on a small vacation with her sister in the small town, as he is also there and they get to spend time together, but they start to develop feelings, but they know that it can work out because he needs to stay in the small town to take care of his family, and she will always come back to New York, but deep down she wants to go back as well because she loves the city. But yeah, so basically we have a time window in the relationship, and I really love it because they choose to spend their time together even though they know that eventually it's going to end. And I just love the ending so much because I love how their families gather up and told them that they will take care of everything, that they just want them to be happy, and I just love it so much. I read Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2 and I gave it 4 stars. I'm beginning to not dislike per se, but not enjoying as much my read of Jujutsu Kaisen. I have so much trouble picking up the new volumes. Maybe because I already know the story, or maybe I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm struggling so much to read these volumes. But still, I really love the characters, the story, and I read Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 3, and this volume gave me so much hard time. I gave it again 4 stars, and you see me say I'm struggling, then give it 4 stars, but my struggle has nothing to do with the volume and everything to do with my mood, and maybe little with the story, because it is a heavy plot and quite dark, so maybe I'm just not into it right now. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to take a break from Jujutsu Kaisen for a while, maybe until I finish Demon Slayer and everything that I'm currently reading, and then hopefully when I pick it up again, it will be super fun for me. Next, I reread The Dark Star by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the Origin series. Many of you know it as my all-time favorite series, and I love this book so much. Every time I read the first scene when we have Evie walking into Fort Token and meet Luke, and just the first encounter is everything, and it's super hilarious because, as many of us know from the Lux series, Luke can read minds. So when Evie basically thinks that guy is crazy hot and all that in her mind, he actually picks up on that, and it's like hilarious, and I just love it. I am planning to get the paperback editions so I can annotate them, because I really don't want to write on my hardcovers. I'm not sure why, but I just don't. I prefer to annotate paperback, so I really want to do that because I'm going to annotate the hell out of them. I swear everything that Luke says is going to get a pink annotation or a orange one for Fanny, because he's just hilarious. And 5 out of 5 stars. I reread The Burning Shadow, book number 2, The Origin series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is my favorite book in the series. I have reread it so many times. I think this was my 10th time or 9, I'm not sure. But I just love it so much because in this book we get to see Luke and Evie get closer together and start to getting to know one another again. And Evie wants to find out more about her past self, and that brings them closer together. Also, we see her having a little PTSD after the events that happened in the previous book with Micah, and I just love this series so much. And again, 5 out of 5 stars. I reread The Brightest Night, book number 3, The Origin series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This book, every time I read it, it's still heartbreaking, it's still shocking, and it still breaks my heart. I mean, the cliffhanger, it's been I think 2 years since the book came out. I think March 2020 book 3 came out, and I read it like that day, and I still haven't recovered from that cliffhanger. I mean, Jaylee is evil as well. She has us the entirety of the series be aware that something's going to happen to Evie, that the killer is going to turn her against Luke, or brainwash her, make her forget something was going to happen to Evie. And then she goes and does that super plot twist and has us all screaming and throwing the book against the wall. And then she has us wait like 3 years until the next book comes out, and it's like torture. And I'm just praying that the final book will come out before March of 2023, because I just need it so much. Next, I reread the Clover Chapel, book number 2 of the Gems of Valley series by David Berry, and I gave it again 5 out of 5 stars. I needed a really good love story, so I decided to pick this book up again because I just love Nick and Emmy's story so much, because Nick is just such a swoon-worthy character, and I just have so much fun while reading these books. Yes, he is a little pussy with Emmy, but it's a pussy that she's actually need to have, because she's like a really sweet character, but also she needs the push sometimes because to take control of her life. And I just love them so much. I love the fact that she's a teacher and Nick is now a mechanic, and they click so well together, even though they had 9 years apart, and they still are perfect for one another, and I just love that so much. I reread The Likely Heart, book number 3 on the Jameson Valley series by David Perry, and again I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I always read Clover Chapel and read The Lucky Heart just when I need something to make me feel happy. Silas and Felicity have such an amazing relationship. We see them hooking up a lot in the span of a lot of years. We see them have a lot of history with one another because Felicity used to date Wes, and they used to be like this group, and they were friends when they were children. And then some stuff happened. Wes fell off the wagon with drugs and stuff. Felicity left, Silas left, and basically everything was a mess. And now they try to reconnect with one another, and they decide that they don't want to fight their attraction, their feelings anymore. But that maybe this is their last chance to finally work it out and maybe be happy. And I just love this story so much. Silas is just wow. Felicity, I really hated in the previous books, but in this one, I think I'm beginning to like her a lot. Not as much as Emmy or any other the lady characters, but still I really like her. Next, I read Demon Slayer volumes 15, 16, 17, and 18. I'm currently on volume 18 basically, and Swordsmith Village arc is just amazing. I can't wait for the anime to see all the fights animated, and I'm so happy that I made this decision to read it and not wait for the anime because I'm having so much fun. And that was before I started the final arc, but that is just heartbreaking because I'm not ready for the story to be over. I'm not ready to say goodbye to all the characters, and I just hope that Tanjiro and Nezuko get a happy ending finally because they really deserve it. Also, I really am praying that no more Hashira die because this is just getting super excessive and I just can't handle it anymore. Hashira dying. I mean, first we got Rengoku who died and he was my favorite. Then we got Izui-san and he got super injured so he had to retire. Then we have a few more injuries in the manga, so I'm trying to spoil you. And we only have defeated only 2 or 3 upper level demons, and it's just again super excessive and I'm getting annoyed. And I know that the demons are like more powerful than the Hashira, but I just want them to work together finally in all the scenes and not just split up and everything that goes to shit all the time and people dying. Just stay together, stay a group so we can survive this. In case it is obvious, all the volumes I gave 5 out of 5 stars, no hesitation about it, and I just can't wait to continue with the series. Hopefully I will find the time and strength to binge read the entirety because I think I have 4 volumes left, so it won't take me more than like 3 hours, but I need to find the will to finish it because I just am not ready. I read Garnet Flats. This is book number 3 in the Eden series by David Perry, and this book came out a few days ago and I immediately got the ebook and binge read it in its entirety in one day. I had really high hopes about this one. I thought for sure it was going to be 5 stars because every other second chance romance that David Perry has written I really did enjoy. But for this one, I think maybe I'm not a big fan of the Eden series, but still, I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Talia and Foster's relationship was really good. Foster I really didn't like at first, and I'm still not a big fan, and I understand why he needed to break up with her and break her heart, but it was really excessive, and how he came back it was super pushy, so I don't have the best feelings regarding this one. So far my favorite has been Juniper Hill with Nox, and I just can't wait for the next 2 books I believe because we have 6 siblings or 5. Anyway, the next one is going to be Chester Vale, and I just can't wait for that one. It's going to be insane. So next we have Hunting Adeline Karen Mars Duet, book number 1 by H.D. Carlton, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. This is a new favorite series of mine. I'm obsessed. I read these books in the span of 2 days, and I felt like amazing. This book had everything. this was my first stalker romance, so I wasn't sure what to expect. But I really loved the gothic vibe in the book. The Zed is just amazing. I love him to death. He's just super pushy, possessive, and all that stuff. But he's also really sweet and that he's just super hot also, and he is also like an anti-hero, but not a villain. But it's really complicated. Then we have Adeline, and she's an incredible feisty, fiery character, and they complement each other so well. And I just love watching them interact with one another. In the first book, we see them more interact with the fact that he's stalking her and they are attracted to one another, but we also see Zayd's life slipping into Addis because there's been a bounty on her head from sex traffickers and that they want her, so Zayd ends up trying to keep her safe. So yeah, it's just amazing and I love it so much. Another book that I want to talk about is Hunting Adeline, Karen Mars Duet, book number 2. And I gave this again 5 out of 5 stars. And this was so much darker than the first one. And I knew that it was going to be dark, but I didn't know in which direction it was going to go. I had a theory and it turned out it was correct. And it was so heartbreaking. The first part, this book splits up in 2 parts. The super heartbreaking one and then the healing one. So I really did love it. The first part of this book broke me. I was crying my eyes out. It was just so heartbreaking to read about, so difficult. Definitely check out the trigger warnings for this book. They are serious and please be careful because it's just really dark, and if you can't handle it, don't read it. It's not worth it, I promise you. But yeah, we see in this one, I'm trying not to spoil you, but I'll give like cliff notes. Basically, we have, I can't tell you anything because it's gonna spoil you for the first book, so keep in mind spoilers for this book and the previous one. So Adi has been kidnapped by the society, and these are the people that Zayd has been hunting, and they are sex traffickers, so they have her held captive, raped, and all that stuff. It's just super heartbreaking and difficult to read about. And Zayn is literally tearing up the world to find her. It's just not easy, so, and it's really hard to see that so much time has passed and he still hasn't been able to find her. But when we reach around 2 months or 3 months, something happens and Zane gets a lead, and just in time, Adi gets help from someone inside the house and manages to escape. Zane finds her, and it's just such a heartbreaking reunion, but like most books, it's not like Sunshine and Rainbows right after. We see Adi struggle a lot. She can't handle anyone touches her, especially guys. And when Zane approaches her, every time she tenses and freaks out, and it's such heartbreaking to watch because Zane has no idea how to help her. She is basically feeling so dirty and violated, and she used to be so comfortable in her body and in love with herself, and now she feels terrible. We see her quiet in a dark place, and but Zayd really helps her pull out from the darkness, and he really helps replace all the pain and helps her get revenge from all the people that hurt her. I was especially happy when Javier, the guy that did the most stuff to her, ended up so dead, and I was like so happy about it. I know it wasn't right, but still I was really happy. And we see them sort of being in an okay place by the end of the book, and I just needed a little bit more about them. I just miss these characters so much. I love them to death. They are the cutest and they deserve the happy ending. I really wanted like a fast forward time jump situation to have them like married with kids, but we didn't get that unfortunately, but still I really did enjoy it. these two books are fire in spiciness, and the trigger ones again are like super intense. Definitely be careful. And yeah, just before I wrap up this video, I wanted to quickly mention two books that I read in June that I didn't get a chance to talk about in the previous video. And these books are Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Scott, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. It was Grabbing Sunshine, Evil Twin, and Small Town Romance, and Single Mom with Neighbor sort of thing, and it was really good. I loved it so much, and definitely you guys need to check it. Next we have Hands Down by Mariana Zapata, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And this one follows Zach, who we meet in Wall of the Winnipeg and me, and I'm sorry, and his childhood friend, I don't remember her name, I'm sorry, but they start to progress their relationship after all these years. They start to hang out again and they become closer until eventually they start dating, and it's like super intense because they know that it's risky and it could destroy the friendship, but they're really going to try. So we see them together and they click so well, and it's just amazing. So that's it for my video. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and stick around. And I hope you enjoying the schedule that I have set. And I will be back next Wednesday for a new video. So bye.